Hi there. We're talking about the book of Acts. And if you just go back a little bit from where we are now in our study to Acts chapter 7, the leaders of the Jewish institutional religious machine, right? They threw rocks at this young church leader named Stephen until he was dead. And they did that for the exclusive reason that he loved and followed and proclaimed Jesus Christ, wouldn't stop, which then had the trickle-down effect of every single other Christ follower in the entire church now living in constant fear that they could be the next Stephen. They too could be killed for their faith. So then what'd they do? Well, they fled Jerusalem, right? Christians packed up, got out of Dodge, because why? Because they didn't want the same thing to happen to them that happened to Stephen. Now, here's a question for us to consider. I asked some people this the other day. Let me ask you now. Was it a good thing or a bad thing that Christians left Jerusalem? I'll bet most of us just then said, well, it was a good thing. Of course it was a good thing. And it's really easy for us to sit here 2,000 years later in whatever comfortable modernity we're in right now and say, yeah, it was great for them that religious persecution against them caused them to flee their homes, flee their families, flee everything they knew, everything they loved, and run for their lives, right? But imagine it had been us. I mean, like, put yourself in those early Christians' Birkenstocks for a moment. We wouldn't be saying that it was so good, would we? But you're right. The fact that Christians were scattered from Jerusalem was actually a really good thing. Why? Well, because of this verse, Acts chapter 1, verse 8. Jesus is talking, by the way, and he says, you will be my witnesses. Where? In Jerusalem, in all Judea, Samaria, and where else? To the ends of the earth. Now, understand, up to this point in the church's very short history, by the way, the church in Acts chapter 8 was only about a year old. Acts 8, it's about 1 year from Acts chapter 1 to Acts chapter 8. And in 1 year, the only place that the Christians had fulfilled the mission that Jesus had given them to be witnesses was in Jerusalem. That was it. But remember, all the way back in Acts chapter 1, Jesus tells them that the church isn't just going to be confined to Jerusalem. He had more in mind, much, much more in mind, like total world domination in mind for the kingdom of God, for the gospel of Jesus Christ. It wasn't just going to be this little localized Jerusalem-centric movement. It was going to spread and spread and spread. But what did it take for the gospel to spread? Persecution against Christians. Christians' fear for their very lives because of their commitment to love and follow and proclaim Jesus was the thing that scattered the church and spread the gospel to the entire rest of the world. And I know beyond the shadow of any doubt that some of us watching, listening right now are going through unimaginably difficult things. Some of us right now are facing stuff today that's literally the most heart-wrenching stuff in all of life. Hear me say, I'm so sorry about that. And you're in the midst of it right now, and you have no idea how it's going to turn out. This financial thing, a medical thing, a relationship thing, a business thing, a child or grandchild thing. You have no idea the outcome of it, and I'm just so sorry. I wish I could relieve you of it right now. And here's the thing. You're probably not even close to being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel of that thing. You have no idea how it's going to turn out. You just cannot see it at all. But if you'll let me, will you just hear me, please? If you're in the midst of one of those seasons and you've ever wondered if good things can come from really difficult things, Acts chapter 1, verse 8 is just another one of thousands of proofs of that very reality from the Bible. But we just have to hold on through it, don't we? We just have to keep trusting God in the midst of it. Just keep turning to Him, clinging to Him. Just keep doing the next right thing that God sets in front of you to do, and God will see you through it.